Petropavlovsk is one of the largest international mining companies successfully operating in Russia. Few major international mining companies have tried and failed to mine in Russia. What is the secret formula of your success?
Luck must count for a lot, but I think that the two most important things are the fact that we, at a very early stage, managed to form a partnership between the 4 or 5 people who actually started and founded the business, most important of whom is my Russian partner, Pavel Maslovsky. We have developed a wonderful ability to get on and to manage the way that the company is run, entirely based on trust. When we started the business, Pavel and I sat down in our garden at home with a bottle of red wine, a piece of paper and a pencil, and sketched out a plan. I sketched out a plan as to how it might work. And he changed a few things, and that was the basis on which we've always operated. We've lost the piece of paper, but it's based entirely on the trust that we have managed to have together. The other is that we've managed to understand each other's country. When I went there, Russia was in quite a mess. I started business there in 79, 80, and it was a very different country then to what it is now. And we've survived some pretty rough times there. But we had to learn, I had to learn what life is like in Russia and how to operate there, and the differences between Russia and the West. And they had to understand what it's like being European or American or Western. And the fact that we've been able to bridge that gap for the Russians to understand what it's like to be British, and for the British to understand what it's like to be Russian, is really the secret of success.
Mr. Hambro, where do you see the future of the gold mining industry in Russia going? And what are the factors that currently affect development of Russia's gold mining industry?
Well, Russia is no different from any other country in the world, and the gold mining industry is changing. Throughout the world, the mining companies are running out of easy-to-process, non-refractory ore. And the future of gold mining is refractory. And the future of gold mining in Russia is particularly so because some 80% of its reserves and resources, known reserves and resources, are refractory. Refractory ore is just harder to process. It's not impossible, and with various forms of treatment, it can be done. We have selected pressure oxidization as a method of recovering the gold from the ore, doing in some 45 minutes what it took Mother Nature some 4 or 5 million years to do. And we think that we have changed that, and I think that gives us a very strong and leading position in the future of gold mining in Russia. Not so much mining, but processing. Our industry is as much to do with processing the ore once it gets out of the ground as it is actually to digging it. And that puts us in a very strong position compared to our competitors.
The ongoing economic slowdown had a significant impact on the international financial markets. What is your advice to the Russian and CIS mining companies who are planning to raise capital in London and other global capital markets?
There's no doubt that there is a huge lack of enthusiasm for mining companies in general amongst the investor community. The investor community is being asked to invest in projects which have a 15-year investment horizon, and their own investment horizon is about 15 minutes. So if you're thinking of listing your company anywhere in the world, you have to remember that you have a very unwilling investor base. I think that the changes that are being introduced on exchanges make it more and more difficult for mining companies, particularly junior mining companies, to raise public capital. And my advice to anybody was, if you're a junior mining company, much better to go to the private equity market to start with than to go anywhere near a securities exchange.
Thank you very much.